Okay, is it time?
Yeah.
Oh,
Fast.
go here.
You are live.
We're not late.
We're not late. We're 3, 2, 1.
Oh, wait, let's put some camera to you because we want you to share too.
We're gonna try not to move. Now we're live. How's that?
Hello, everybody. I think we got our act together.
All right,
today.
everybody. Welcome on a Wednesday, Wellness Wednesday, week 13. Week 13. Welcome. It's been an interesting week, very stressful week. Hopefully, you guys have been taking care of yourselves when things happen that are then things are, shall we say, unpredictable.
Yeah.
So I want to give something happened this week where a coworker of mine passed away, and I want to dedicate today's Wellness Wednesday to her. I've known her for almost 15 years. She was one of my clerks in the office at the probation department. She covered my butt a few times. Very good. Raised wonderful kids. One of her daughters graduated in Michigan, college in Michigan. Another one's is a junior, I believe, in college up in Merced. Great mom. I remember she left a few weeks ago, and she never came back.
Wow.
She never came back, and I got the news the other day, and I was just shocked. So that tells me, and I want to tell you, that life is not guaranteed.
Not at all.
So make sure you do the things you really want to do in life. Make sure you say the things you want to say to the people you want to say them to. This is the 6th person that has passed away at my work site since I've been there for the last 18 years. So that's almost one every 3 years.
Yeah, but it seems like in the past year it's been like 3.
Three passed away in the last 3 months.
Oh.
Yeah. So health issues. So please take care of yourself. Please do what it takes to get rid of the stress. They call it balance in life, but make sure you do things you really love to do, and make sure you don't take on the things you need to take on. So my coworker, I know her. I'm going to call her name, Loretta. Wherever you are out there, rest in peace. And I'm gonna still keep doing a good job out here, okay? And I remember you always used to slap me on my bald head in the morning from time to time just to make sure I was awake. I'll miss that. Okay, so rest in peace, girl. All right, I'll see you on Saturday. All right, take care. So bringing back to us, welcome to bringing back to the Wellness Wednesday.
Oops.
We want to welcome you. As you know, the Final Step International. What we do, as we all know, we make sense of your life, make sense of your situation, to empower you to move forward without hesitation. So that being said, we want to make sure you understand your behavior, why you think the way you do, or what emotions show up and why they show up, and what can we do to change. Okay, and also brought to you by the needs-based method, right? Where we find the truth behind a specific behavior. Why is it that you do that thing you do? Okay, what is that? So that's what we're trying to do here, right? And remember last week talked about we had a young lady who she wouldn't smile, wouldn't show her teeth because her mother said that if you smile at a person that you're fast. So we're working on it, and she's made a lot of improvements. She told me, so she's working on smiling, and she's not putting all the judgment and shame behind it. So that's good. So that gives you an indication of what we do. Okay, and we try to do that with everything. So today we have some topics, a couple of questions here that I believe you'll be interested in. Okay, so the first question is this.
Also.
Oh, we have an interruption. I didn't see that coming. The light went on. Nothing.
Wait, you didn't even introduce me at all.
They know you.
How do they know you?
Okay, then they know you. They know you talk a lot.
Hello, everybody.
All right.
My name is Alina Yukis, and I am part of Final Step International and also the Needs-Based Method. So today's topic, we're kind of based it on CEO's life, but that's really, it goes for anybody. You don't have to be a CEO or a family-owned business. It just happens that that's who asked the question. So I don't want to be able to leave anybody out.
Well, here's a CEO people really underestimate. Single mothers, AKA, or housewives or house husbands who run the family. That is a CEO.
Just go right.
Woof. Or the things you need to do, how you shuffling everything around, responding to certain situations, kids getting sick, dropping them off to school, kids late. Your refrigerator looks like a spreadsheet from Caltech. It's just got all these things you got to do. You know, you go up in the morning, you go down to bed in the evening with the kids. So
Yeah, and then
just to
also
let you know.
with us, you know, we're in our second chapter of life, and right now you would think everything's easy breezy, but you know we're pretty involved in our grandson's life. So we do, you know, we help taking him to school, we pick him up, and now with the summer, you know, we love spending time with him. So that's huge as far as also being a CEO. I'm calling myself a chief financial officer of the head of household.
I'm the
because it
chauffeur.
is.
I'm the CEO, the chauffeur.
Because you know we are involved in that too. So okay, hit it. Question number 1.
Press number 1, right. The question is, how can I balance my CEO life or executive life and my family life? Okay, so the problem is with CEOs in business is that they don't have enough time to spend with family. Okay, so we're trying to find a solution to that.
Right.
And some of the solutions are the time that we spend, you know, you have to make use of that effectively with the family members.
That's number 1.
Right, especially children.
Right.
So you were talking about that yesterday.
Yeah.
So tell them what you were talking about.
Yeah, so it's very important. You know, it's easy for me to say. You would probably think it's easy for me to say because mine are grown, but they're not. Like I said, now we have, you know, grandbabies, and one of the most important things that I found is that whatever time you're going to spend with your kids, spend it wisely. Stay off the cell phone. Stay off the computer. If it's 5 minutes, it's 5 minutes of valuable time. Connection. Ask questions. I know when we pick up, and I do refer a lot to the grandson, but when we do pick up the grandson from school, we have him do high and low. You know, it's not good or bad. It's like, what was your highest in school today? What was your lowest? And Michael makes him talk. And if he doesn't want to talk, we hold out his snacks. So, but you know, that is very important. He loves that because when we don't ask him, just, you know, because we're busy or really sometimes forget, he'll say, hey, you guys didn't ask me, or you guys don't want to know about my school. So that does let you know that they do know that you're there for them and that you're paying attention. Now, the biggest thing that I do want to bring up is when you do not pay attention to them when they're younger, because I used to have this misconception 30 years ago that when kids are little, they don't need you as much. I know, it's generational curses, but indeed, they need you even more. Well, now that we study and we read all the stuff that we need and all the scientific stuff, but you know, that's one of the biggest things is they do need you, because when I do spend time with the grandkids, I no longer take the cell phone. I used to take cell phones to take pictures of them and all that, but I don't take the cell phone. I don't accept phone calls. I schedule them, you know, I schedule my meetings around them. And one of the things that we realized, and we've actually, after all the interviews that Michael has done, is if you don't do that when they're little, when they get older, what do you get, Mr. Odin?
You get a big, huge person who's trying to compensate for what they didn't get as a kid. And here's a quick lesson. If you get wounded early in life or ignored earlier, the earlier the neglect, the bigger it shows up later in life. So we're looking at 1-year-old, 2, 3, those age groups. Neglect them then, watch what happens when they get in their 20s, 30s, and 40s.
Right, you neglect them now.
The bigger it shows up, the earlier the wound, the bigger it shows up later in life, okay?
Right.
Just to let you know.
And there's also, you know, no such thing as I don't have time. It's almost like I don't have money. If you want something bad enough, you will find the money, and just like you will find the time, just like you do find the money.
Okay, so let's go back to our CEOs here and you know what it takes. So CEOs and housewives, all included here, or single mothers or mothers raising kids. You guys average around what? 60 hours a week. Okay, and the average person is 42, 41. Okay, so you're putting a lot of time in. Okay, you got to remember, ladies, you were taught as a child that you can have it all. You guys ever heard that phrase, you have it all? What does that really mean, having it all? And I really want you to think about having it all, okay? What does that mean, okay? Because when you have it all, that means you have it all. What is all? What is all, Ms. Alina? What is all? What do you think all is?
I guess, you know, you could have your career, you could have the family.
Keep going. That's half. Keep going. What about all? Remember all.
Career,
Remember, that's the light side. What about the dark side of having it all? That's all of it.
Oh, the downside.
The downside. You got to remember, there's a downside to all this stuff. That's having it all.
Yeah.
But people don't think about that. Having it all, they think you have the job, the car, the house, this. No, having it all means you have the sickness, you have the disasters, you have the stuff that comes with that. So the yin and the yang, the light and the dark. So that's having it all. But people don't put that together.
Right.
Okay, and women, in particular, because this is how women were, we're socialized that, you can do everything. You sacrifice your whole life for the family, for the kids, And here's a little quote I have when I was reading this article. Do you know how many people and how much technology it takes to replace one working mother?
Tell me.
In my world, this is this woman talking, it takes 4 adults, a Roomba, and infinite apps. You know what a Roomba is?
This is vacuum cleaners.
That's right. I didn't know that. A Roomba. I thought it was a dance. I had one Roomba. What is that? But it's it's a little vacuum. Okay. And she goes, growing up, her mother told her that I could do anything, and I really took it to her. I could do anything. I heard that I could do anything. Can you really do anything? Let's be realistic. Right? When those kids come up, man, you are, hey, honey, I need some help. Okay, I need some help. Okay, be the executive or the housewife or the single mother. We always have friends. It's a community. So think about that.
Talk about a village. We need a village.
Okay, so here's a couple of, shall we say, lessons or words of advice or wisdom that I have for you. What makes someone balance the work balance of life and family? Okay. One thing a person can do is define your own balance. What is balance to you? What does that look like? Okay. So you got to figure out, is 45 to 50 hours a week good enough? Is it not? Change it. Okay. So we're not going to go into a lot of detail because we're short on time, that sort of thing. So we'll make it quick. Okay. Just throw some things out there. Another one is that you get to create your own time. Okay? Create your own time means you can read in the car when the kids are in the car on the way home. You can read a story, you can tell a story, you can review what they did in school, that sort of thing. So they get creative with their time, right? These are the CEOs. Another one they look at is they participate in leisure activities that improve their performance. Do something that's fun for you. Whatever that is. Mud running. Right?
Some people like that.
Dancing.
I like that.
All right? Something that gets you out and goes, because, remember I talked earlier this morning before we started, the people who passed away, it was stress related.
Yeah.
It really is. And people are stressing out there. I've been stressing for the last month. Monday we'll talk about that. Boy, I thank God I get to go to the gym, because after a while you're like, oh my God, thank goodness. You got to relieve it because it builds up, and guess what? What does it impair when you're stressed? What does it do to your body? What are some of the things you get? Fibromyalgia.
I'm a perfect example of that.
What else?
I mean, you get all kind of peptic ulcers.
Peptic ulcers. Hey, how's that doing?
Yeah, and the migraines.
Migraines.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, so please take care of yourself, people, okay? They learn from their work-life balance mistakes. Ooh, yeah. Sometimes it's like this. Sometimes you if you're an executive and you take a job to put extra hours in, you're going to miss out on your family time. That could haunt you, and you learn from that. Or you could pass up a child's play, some activity, because there was a big huge meeting that you needed to go to. So what do you pick? Right. What they say is you have to find what's really important, and if you can't make it, call them, say why you can't make it, and try to make the next one.
Call the child.
Right. Yeah.
So another suggestion that I have, like right now in this world of technology, I don't believe we really have an excuse, because the other thing you could do is, let's say if you have somebody that's going to be there, a friend, there's always another parent that's willing to do something and help you out. You could always have that parent videotape it and let the child know, even though I cannot physically be there, so-and-so is going to videotape it, and I'm going to watch it when I get home with you, or I'm going to watch it, and we'll talk about it later. But don't make promises that you cannot keep.
Mm-hmm. And they say that try not to beat yourself up. Use it as a teaching moment. All right, use it as a teaching moment.
Especially us women, we do beat ourselves up.
Oh God!
Cannot be there.
Dun, yeah. Dun, 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 dun. No, ladies, no. You're human. Isn't it great being human? Okay. So here's a twist to this. I'm always like I said, I always like going behind the scenes. So they talk about this balance, right? We're gonna have balance in life, all right? So I found an article that says there's no such thing as balance. There's no such thing as work-life balance. Isn't that interesting? Just like we talked about, we were talking about in the beginning, there's no such thing as having it all.
Oh, yeah, having it all.
Yeah, having it all, right? What does that really mean? What does work-life balance is? What does that mean, all right? So here's some things that I read. Work-life balance is hard no matter who you are and how long you commute. Why? Because your work-life balance is a big hoax. It's huge. The more we believe in it, the more miserable we become. Because you know something, we probably never balance it. And balancing is about flux, right? It's about this. It's dynamic, all right? Not a state. Okay, so one day, guess what? We could balance for how long, and then what happens? Something happens, an event. And then it happens again, and we're back up here again. So think about that. So when you go, as you ladies know, raising children, how much balance do you find in that? Probably the only balance you find is when you're in little butts in bed and sleeping.
Right.
You got,
When you're in the
you got that glass of wine in your hand, you're going, whoo, another day done.
Right.
You're ready for the next. Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's interesting. So they say, he says, it's a work-life balance is a fantasy. Believing in it is holding us back from our happiness. It's holding us back. Because what if we don't balance it out today? What if it didn't work out the way we wanted it to? Are we going to beat ourselves up?
Yeah, it doesn't happen every day.
Are we going to do the blame and shame game and guilt game? That, man, I'm a terrible human, I'm a terrible mom. No! It didn't work out. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Empathy for yourself. Empathy. Remember that? We talk about that. That's a need. Self-empathy.
Yeah.
Okay? So I thought that was very interesting. There's some other things about the fallacies, about balance, But basically it's just, when I kept reading the article, it's like, something? It's always flux. It's always like this. It's never, I guess the only time it's like this is when what?
You're sleeping.
You sleep or pushing up daisies. Yeah, pushing up daisies. Otherwise, life is all the time. This is life. Hey, you have big moments, your ebbs, your flows, your good days, your bad days. What the hell just happened today? Oh, my kid did what? You're kidding me. Oh, he got an A. Great. So, who knows? Okay, so for what it's worth, that's our little take on CEOs and mothers
in family life
and balancing out, the distinguishing between how to balance out a family and work life. Okay.
So if you want any more questions, if you want any more information on this, or even if you found this useful, you could always go ahead and contact us. We do have a lot more stuff actually that Michael has written up on it that we could share with you. We just don't even know where to put and all that kind of stuff. But just let us know. You could email us at michael@michaeloden.com, and I could go ahead and send it to you. Or also, we do offer a 20-minute complimentary session that you could go on our website, and I'll put that also on the feed. I think it's already there, that you could go on our website and schedule it, and we could talk about it. So it's completely up to you.
Yeah.
But that's what we're here for. We're here to help
It's up to you. Okay. So we'll take a little commercial break. Welcome to Final Step International. I'm taking a 1-minute break here. All right, where we make sense of your life. Right, to empower you to move forward without hesitation. And we don't want you to hesitate. We want you to do what you need to do. Life is short, as we know, and we need to take advantage of while we have the time here. Okay? So, that being said, I appreciate you all being here, and I appreciate you sharing, this information with others if you choose to do so. Okay? And that's what we're here to do, is contribute to the planet.
Just click the share button.
So, here's our next question. All right, this gets a little personal.
This
so
one
be ready.
hits home.
It gets a little personal. Okay? The question is, why is it hard for me or you to accept that my family does not support my journey? Oh. Why doesn't my family support my journey? Why is it difficult to accept that? All right? For some people, they cannot accept the fact that their families don't accept their individual's journey. So why is that?
Okay, so that's a question. But the other thing is, it seems like it's happening more and more. Like the more we talk to people, it seems like it's happening even more.
Because those are the people on the journey.
Yeah. So the people on the journey are the ones that are having the hardest time having the family accept them.
So here's my take on it. And we're talking about birth order, we're talking about family roles, we're talking about your personality, we're talking about all these things that make you the person you are and how you relate to your siblings and your parent. So here you are as a child and you behaved a specific way, and that's how you related to others, and that's how your family related to you. Okay? Now this is one component. So you decide that you grow up, you see the world a little differently, and you decide to do something that's totally unfamiliar to what your family's used to. Okay? And they're thinking to themselves, who is this person to try something different than what he did before when I was living with him as a kid?
Right, but that also has a lot to do with that family shaming and curses.
It does.
Yeah.
We're talking about that. So they see you in a certain light for so many years, all of a sudden you do something different, and it ruffles feathers.
Yes.
Okay? So this is one. This is one, and I've seen this a lot, because they are familiar with you behaving a certain way, and their response to you a certain way has worked for them, right? They may have been empowered by the way they behaved towards you. They may have been, believe they, had one up on you. We'll call it upmanship. So, and it worked. Everybody played their dance. And I'm going to do, in the therapy world, they call it self-disclosure. I had a friend who was dominant, and therefore he spoke for me for how many years? 14. One day I decided to say something, and oh my God, the sky fell. Oh my God, he's on stage. Oh my God, now he's talking to people all over the world and talking to hundreds of people. I'm a public speaker. They are not used to that. And it's really uncomfortable, because guess what people do? Then they start looking at themselves, asking, well, why can't I do that? Or why am I not doing something like that? Or he's getting more notoriety than I am, and whatever they're making up, we don't know.
Right.
But the point is that it's different. That's the key. Okay? So there's no right or wrong, good or bad. It's just people are not used to the new you, we'll call it, in certain regards. What's the other thing here?
And they may never be used to you.
Yeah. So here you are. You decided to share your journey with your family, and they go, and they have no interest in it, right? They have nothing. So what do you do with that? You're going to learn to be strong enough to say, something. I may have to find people who are not my family members, right, who support what I do, and share with them.
Yeah. You have to find a new tribe.
Right. A new tribe. Your family might not be the tribe. Isn't your family always the one you can't go to for anything, and they give you the hard time? Isn't the family members you can't share certain things with because of what they'll judge and criticize you for something? Unfortunately. Yeah. So it's difficult because they're your family and they're the closest people to you. Therefore, you want to share that with them. But here's something you can think about. You may go on your journey and they may not like, or they may be uncomfortable, or they may not understand what you're doing, or they may not be interested. But guess what? They may be interested, but you have to feed them slowly.
Right.
Yeah, you got just little spoon feed, and don't force it. Never force stuff on people. They're like, oh, it's like a fire hose on you, right? It's too much, right? You decided to step out of your box, out of your comfort zone, and you decide to do something different. They don't get that.
Right.
So you got to understand that's what's happening. So it's not really their fault. It's nobody's fault. It's just that you decided to be different. You decided to be you. And that's the big win. You got to remember that.
And then we get excited because we are going through the journey, and then we have developed so much as individuals, human beings, spiritual awakening. And so we just want to share it with them. And then you go share it with them, and they're like, okay, no, we don't want to hear that, let's look at puppies and that kind of stuff. And I know it could be overwhelming to them. And then it could also be hard on us because we're like so excited about what we're doing that we want to be able to share with the person that you think would be the ones that would be the happiest for you, and it doesn't happen.
No.
But it seems like it happens a lot. Well, maybe because this is in the circle that we're in with this whole wellness. And you know what? I thought as we were speaking now, it reminds me when we are teaching our 7 steps to the drug and alcohol CEOs or anybody else, and we tell them, you might not be able to go back to the same group of individuals that you were hanging out with. You have to stay away from them, and you know how they do all that kind of stuff. Well, it's almost the same thing now, as I was thinking about it, because we're like in a completely different light, and our family isn't.
Right. So here's what I come across all these years. I always warn my clients: if you stay with me, and we shift all your beliefs and all the things you've been hanging on to, and you become the person you wanted to be that your family's not used to, they will have a hard time accepting the new you. So what I just did is I took you from here and I went here. Now you're here isolated because now you see the world different, you're responding different, you're behaving different, but they haven't changed.
Right.
That makes you the outlier. Okay? So let's give you a couple of tips about how to handle that. All right? We don't want to throw you into the pit and just leave you there. So I saw some things the other day and they're really cool. So I like it. So I'm going to share them with you. Some people, even your family, are simply not equipped to be supportive of your path that you are walking. That is a painful fact to hear for many people. Remember that. It's painful. They don't want to hear your stuff. Okay? But the good news is that the universe always puts people in your life to support you. But you don't get to choose where that support comes from. You got it? It ain't coming from the people you grew up with.
That's it, yeah.
Understand that. It doesn't make them bad people. It just makes them the people. The people in the pudding. Oh, pudding in the people. Oh, boy, that's that. Never mind. Okay? Sometimes you have to go outside of the ones you most love in order to find the love you need right now.
That's true.
You got that?
That has happened.
Okay, so just know that. Does that make sense? All right, we'll do another one. Here's another one. I like this one. Never ask someone more than they can give. Sometimes you have to realize that people have a perspective and experience of life that is very different to your own. Just because you're interested in what you're doing doesn't mean they are. You got that?
Yeah, but that even happens in relationships and in marriages as well. Like, just because you're going through a journey, they're not going through the same journey. So you cannot, even though you want to, and I know us girls are like all excited. Stop doing that because look what it does. Us girls are so excited about, sharing it with our loved one, with our husband, our boyfriend, or whatnot. They are not ready for all this cheddar. So they might not want to, That doesn't necessarily mean that they don't care. It's just that they don't want to hear it. And there are a lot of people that have to go out there and just, who do them.
Well,
be who they want to be.
You got to remember, they only know what they know in the moment, okay? And you may need something that is beyond their capacity to give you. You're talking about Mars to them. They don't get that. Doesn't make them right, wrong, good or bad. Just makes them the people, okay? So stop fighting with this truth and pushing to get blood from a stone. Stop it. It's over, okay? And here's another way to... So these are a couple of tips about how do you handle the fact that it's hard for your family to be supportive of your journey, right? That's the question. Why is it hard for me to accept that my family is not supportive of my journey? So I'll give you a couple of tips. Here's another one. Your job in life is never to convince or persuade anyone of your worth and value. How's that? Yikes. Okay? You don't have to prove anything to anybody. This is your journey. Succeed or fail, you're on the journey. The whole idea is you're trying on the journey. You're trying it.
And that's the thing. It's your journey, not theirs. And remember, it's not about you. It's about them.
All right? So stop trying to convince people. Okay? Here's another one. Some people in your life is unsupportive and doesn't get you. And they are someone who you love and value and want to have in your life. Then take the time to help them understand you. Don't shove it down their throat. Spoon feed them. We talked about that before. They don't get it. Okay? It's okay. It'll come. It's like when I teach clients, when I get them to change their behavior, and the people who have a problem with the behavior are usually the parents, and I get them to change, and what happens is this. If I change the behavior from the person I'm working with, and they go home and they work on the behavior that they're changing, the people around them will start changing because they don't respond anymore. They respond different. Does that make sense? They respond differently, and they're like, something's different about them. And I don't know what it is, but it's just different. And then they start. Then the behavior starts changing subconsciously. It's really interesting. So just know that, okay? I change you, you change them without even telling them. That's how that works. Okay?
Okay, so the tools to go with is one of them, don't shove it down their throat, spoon feed them. Number two is, it's because we also have our, what do you call it, our bonus question. We're already in 30 minutes.
All right, real quick. Here's real quick, because you guys need this. It's good for you. So your friends, okay? Do not be afraid to own your own power. How's that?
That's it.
There you go. That's your power. That's what I'm saying. You got to keep going, huh?
Yeah.
All right? You have the heart and the courage of a lion. You simply have not been using it.
Yeah.
All right? That's it. Okay, here's another one. A couple more. No matter how many unsupportive people there are in your life right now, remember there's only one voice to truly listen to. Ooh, who's that? All right?
Your inner self.
It's yours.
Your
all right?
inner
Listen
voice.
to yours. All right? That's it. Okay? So we're good on that.
Okay, so recap. I want to recap. So the balance of the CEO life and your personal life, or now we're talking about CEOs and family-owned businesses, single mothers or mothers in general, or
They're
fathers,
CEOs.
whoever, exactly. Like the other day, I told Michael, I'm the CEO of this household because I was doing all kinds of stuff that day. So, and I do that every day. So it's the same thing, whatever time you're able to spend with your child, or even with your loved one, or nieces, the grandbabies.
Grandbabies, whatever.
Make sure it's valuable time. Don't be on electronic. Don't ignore them. Sitting down and watching TV with them is not valuable time. That's what you want to do, not what they want to do.
Let them know you matter. Let them know you listen to them. Let them know you care.
Okay.
They need that, okay?
And they need it from day one.
They
from
don't.
The minute they were born.
They don't. They're getting locked up, hell in a handbasket, okay?
They'll end up on his caseload.
All right.
Or on ours. Okay, so number 2. The question was, why is it hard for me to accept that my family is not supportive in my journey? And the answer to that is, don't shove it down their throat.
That's one.
Yeah.
Believe in you, okay? It's your journey. Accept the fact that this is your journey and it's not theirs. And if they don't, doesn't make them right or wrong, good or bad, just makes them the people
Right.
who don't understand what you're doing. Go around people who know what you're doing, who understand what you're doing. Hang with them.
Yeah.
That's your tribe. Okay? And if you have a loved one or a significant other who doesn't get you, again, just sit them down and talk to them. Do not force it down their throat again. Just talk to them gently. This is what I'm doing. I'm going to spoon feed you so you get it. You may not have to like it, but you'll get it. Okay?
And he might not still get you.
Or-
I just want you to
yeah.
know. Because we've come across quite
Yeah.
a few, that I'm like,
And
I don't know how she does it, or how
Okay.
he does it.
Just keep it moving. Okay? And the bonus question is higher education really important to become successful?
Oh, that's the bonus.
Bonus.
Okay. Guys, help out.
This bonus question is higher education important to become successful? Well, good Lord, these millennial people in Generation E's, what are they? Generation Z? We're in Z now?
Yeah.
What are they going to drop back to the alphabet when the Z's done? How's that going to work?
Double A's,
Double A's. Right? And they see the world differently. I hear it from 18 to 24, they're not using deodorant.
Oh, God, yes.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that's what we heard today on the radio.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Boy, how about that? With saving the planet, yet destroying my nose. Hell. Okay. Man, I have limitations too. I'm a pretty, liberal kind of guy, but God bless them. Anyway, is higher education important? Do you really need it? I say this. It depends what you want to do. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, if you're going to be entrepreneurial, you're going to take some classes. Doesn't mean you have a major, but it doesn't hurt. But if you're an entrepreneur, you can skip that, but you better be out. You better be ready to work your butt off and to get your organization, company off the ground. Okay. Dropping out of Harvard doesn't count.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody gets to do that and become, multi-billionaire.
You just better be ready to hustle if you're not going that route. However, higher education is important if you want to have some professions require that you do that.
But you know what? It's so crazy because even today, when I met that lady with an
That
11-year-old,
lady.
well, because you're not really supposed to put people's business out on blast.
You're not telling
on
her
social
name.
Media.
Here's
Okay.
Susie Johnson. No, just tell them you met the woman.
Yeah, so her 11-year-old son is already talking about he doesn't want to go to college because he wants to be a YouTube,
Sensation?
yeah, but they call it
Influencer?
influencer.
Okay.
He's 11 years old. It's like,
But
really?
he learns it from somewhere.
Yeah, and all he talks about is, he's just going to go to high school and after that he's not.
No, but he's
we
taking
come
classes. He's really bright. He knows what he's doing. His
Okay.
mother's teaching. He's getting an education and a half at home.
Right. But we've
He's
come
learning.
across a lot of those kids. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. If everybody's an entrepreneur, who's going to be running like corporate America?
Or he's going to be we're doing county jobs. But not everybody wants to be an entrepreneur because it's tough. 80% of
I was
businesses
just gonna say,
fail.
yeah.
So, or the time it takes. Some people like the 9 to 5, go home and see their kids.
Yeah.
Well,
And get that steady paycheck.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be an entrepreneur. I don't like when people sit there, well, no, I'm not, or they aren't. They don't want to be. It's okay. They're good with what they do. They like what they do. Okay, but
Okay, Miss Roden, everybody
but
doesn't
higher-
like their county job like you do.
I love it. Is higher education really important? It can be. It just depends.
Yeah.
It depends. You have anything to say on that? Are you done with that too?
No.
Is that it for the bonus question? I mean,
No, I think it is. Well, because these kids now they have graduated from high school, they're going into college. Like some kids don't even want to finish college, and they only have like a year left or a year and a half. It's like, why would you not finish? You've come all this way and you would not finish. So that's
they don't see the what? The benefits. They don't see the benefits. I'm thinking like this: put it in your back pocket. You got it. You may need it sometimes. Get it in your back pocket. And plus, if you've gone this far, you're gonna have to still pay the loan back. So
That's
guess
what
what?
I said.
At least you got it in your back pocket, and you're paying the loan back. Don't hand it to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. So that's what's up. Okay.
So, any questions, feedback, concerns, happy notes?
So remember, if you want a 15-minute session about anything about you, let me know. I'll be glad to help you. I can condense, time, and I'll give you an answer and make sense of that situation. Okay.
I'm going to put the link, or the link is already on it's going to be on the feed. And you guys could just go ahead and schedule it on our website. And we do that one. That's it.
What about next week? We're gonna be here next week. When are we gone?
No, but no matter where we're at and which part of the world, we'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll do it. Okay. So we'll see you next week. Have a great week. Remember, in the beginning, I talked about I lost a coworker last week. This is my third one in 3 months. Life is short, people. Go out there and make every day count. All right. Hug your kid. Get rid of that no good somebody.
Be kind to one another.
Have a piece of ice cream. Cheat a little bit, and do my 1,000 sit-ups like I do
Boy.
in my dreams.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we totally appreciate you guys
Yeah.
tuning in.
Appreciate you tuning in. Be good.
And we'll see you guys
Take care.
next Wednesday.
Okay. Next Wednesday.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Have a great week.
Thank you.